if you look at my progress photos, you can see such a massive change
Yeah.
that for me is just, it's crazy to think about it.
In this video, I interview my client Bartek. His name is of Polish descent, and he has an absolutely phenomenal transformation. Really cool story. I think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this video, so super excited to dive into it.
All right. Welcome in, Bartek, to this interview. I'm super excited to dive into it. So let's start off with the foundations. Can you just tell us your name, where you live, and what you do for work?
Of course, happy to. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, my name is Bartek. Also Bartosz. It's a Polish thing. You have two versions of your name. I live in Copenhagen in Denmark, but I'm originally from Poland. So what I do for work, I'm a psychologist. I just recently started my own business. I do individual therapy sessions for people. My specialization lies with business consultants, but I also work with other people as well to kind of address the most pressing topics like stress, burnout, career development, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited because Bartek and I have been working together over the past, what, 5, maybe 6 months now.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool seeing your progression because he worked full time at a company that you didn't really like working for, right? And then now have like quit, started your own, company, have clients coming in. Yeah, that's really exciting. So yeah, maybe as we go through this conversation, we can kind of talk about the hand in hand of like business and fitness and kind of how those played out. But let's start back from before we started working together. How was your situation before? Kind of like where were you at in your
Yeah,
health and fitness?
I think what is important for context is that I've been struggling with my weight my entire life, and there were multiple instances where I lost weight dramatically, and over time gained it back up. I think there were at least three big major instances where that happened in the past. So obviously, I was very on the fence of doing that again, with the fear of the same thing happening, and why would this time be different? I've been through some difficult personal things. So shortly before we started working together, I hit my highest weight ever, like ever through the 30 years I've been I've been struggling with this. But at that point, I was really not happy with where I am, or how I feel with my body, and I was especially not happy with how I eat.
Yeah. Where did like I guess how did that make you feel overall? How were you kind of feeling in that?
I was feeling trapped, like there's no way to escape that. Like this cycle will just repeat for my entire life continuously. It's always going to be like that, and felt hopeless. Like there's nothing I can do to change that. It's constantly going to be that, okay, I'll lose some weight, then I'll gain it again, and over again. That's
Yeah.
gonna be my life. And I just felt like no matter what I do, that's my fate.
Yeah.
Period. So I
Yeah.
was pretty demotivated to even try anything, but there was
Yeah.
always that thought in my head that I would, like, at least once in my life, I would like to get ripped.
Yeah.
Because why not? Sure, I would love that. But
I love it.
I never had the courage to do that. And at that point, I also didn't feel like it's even possible.
Yeah. So walk me through then. How did I'd love for you to tell like brief part of the story. Like how did we find each other, and how did you like decide to reach out, and how did we kind of get started working together?
Okay, I can tell the story from my perspective.
All right. Yeah.
Um, so we met through mutual friends. We met through Noah, who has been on some of your videos, so
Yeah. He's
maybe
been on
some
the
of your
channel.
viewers actually
Yeah.
recognize the name. And you came to visit Denmark. I believe it was in October,
Yeah.
some like last year, and we got to talking. What do you do for a life? What am I doing? And kind of getting to know each other on more personal side. And I was very fascinated by what you do and how you do it, because I've been working with a trainer before,
Mhm.
so on specifically on workouts,
Yeah.
but it was more hands off. I would get a workout schedule, I would do that for a month, and then new workout schedule. There was no goals, no plan, nothing more than that, right? So I was very what struck me the most about your approach was that holistic approach. So it's not just focusing on one thing, but it's encompassing the entire journey including mindset, food, workouts, a lot of, just working on habits that really struck a chord with me. And I was thinking, like, if I ever want to do this, this would be a good way.
I love that. I'm curious then, what were your thoughts going through the process? Like, what were your doubts and fears about this?
Well, I think one of the primary doubt was obviously on the financial side. I was in a place where I was worried that I cannot. I think that's something a lot of people watching can relate to. Like, can I really spend the amount of money to make this work and whatnot?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit about that.
Mhm.
Like I said, I didn't believe I can get ripped. I accepted after 30 years that that is impossible with my body type. That never gonna happen. So I was like, why would I even try if I know that it's impossible? I
Yeah.
also was very much worried whether this, like, am I gonna actually embrace this and fully dedicate myself? Because it's one thing to do a routine and start working on yourself and whatnot. Another is really dedicating yourself to it. If you don't fully do everything to achieve those goals, if you don't follow the established goals, the established workouts, your calories, everything, what's the point? Like at that stage is like, if you don't want to go all in on this, if you don't want to, like, of course you can do small steps going into it, obviously, right? It's a journey, but if you're not dedicated, then I was worried that I'll just lose interest after a month or two, and then I will be wasting both mine and your time.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. What made you say yes anyways then?
Well, it's funny because that coincidentally, or maybe not, I don't believe in coincidences, but exactly the timing aligned. I just decided to leave my job in December, and I was already making this big step because at that point I already knew I wanted to start my own business. So at that point, I just went, well, might as well just do everything. And decided to, okay, I'll schedule a meeting with you. I'll talk this through and I'll decide.
Yeah.
And and for the reasons I mentioned before, I was on the fence.
Yeah.
But then talking to you, you know, there's there's a difference. We have kind of this, dual relationship. There's the more personal, friend-like relationship, and
Yeah.
then there's the professional where you're my trainer. So it was different when we talked about this as friends, and then we sat down and you brought the business, Zach, and I was just like, take my money. I'm in. I'm in. Honestly, the way you were
Then.
talking about this, the way your confidence, the way you explained how the whole journey will look like, how many resources you have, what are the key like, what are we going to be focusing on, the nutrition, workouts, mindset, like we would have these weekly check-ins. Everything you were saying was just landing right where I felt like that's going to be the kind of system that's going to address my worries and
Mm.
is going to um, let me achieve my goals. So at that point, it was a question of the last question that remained was like, am I ready to invest that money into
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And given the perceived rate of success being so high, I was like, let's do it.
Let's
Like
do it.
now is the time. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. That's awesome. Walk us through your results now. Like, where are you at currently? Like, what are you able to do now that you couldn't before? Like, where are you kind of at?
Uh, there's several things that have changed over the past 6 months. I think mindset-wise is the biggest change
Mm.
because initially, what you also mentioned on some of our check-ins, the first month it was just up and down and up and down. I was super excited one day, and then I was like, "Oh my God, this is not working. I just gained 0.2 kilograms, and this is not working. I'm
Yeah.
awful." What? It would just go from extreme positive to extreme negative nonstop. Now
Uh,
it's gotten a little more. There's still ups and downs, don't get me
yeah,
wrong,
of course.
but it's gotten more sustainable, more like it feels a natural part of the process. And I'm also feeling much more in, maybe not in control, but like this is what I achieved. I recognize that, of course, I don't want to, it is something we work on together, right? But it feels like this is what I achieved, you know?
Yeah,
It feels
honestly,
like it's
own
my
that. It's
success,
you did it.
which
You're the one who did it.
which
You
I
showed
am
up.
grateful to you
Yeah,
for your help, because I couldn't do this without you. There's so many conversations we had about how I approach this, what are the pain points, what are the things that really stop me from getting to where I want to be.
yeah,
So, you know, just throughout this 6 months journey, I've been really following all the workouts,
yeah,
trying to work on my mindset, being more kind to myself in a
yeah,
way, I think.
yeah.
And you know, we're still working on that nutrition part, which is my Achilles heel, I will admit. But
You're
it's
honestly doing quite well on it. Yeah.
uh, the one question you said, what are you able to do now that you couldn't before? I think I believe that I can achieve those goals. And most of it is because I trust you. And I know that if you're saying that's possible, then it is possible.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if you look at my progress photos, you can see such a massive change
yeah,
that for me is just it's crazy to think about it, because my previous weight losses were only based on my you know, the numbers on a scale, and that's pretty much it.
yeah,
But this time the goal is different. We're getting ripped,
yep.
so it's much more important to see those small changes. And every check-in, when you point out, oh, look how, you know, you have less fat here, there's no folds here, look at your belt, like every time, that just makes me feel so accomplished, to feel
Yeah,
like, yes, I did that, we're
exactly.
getting there. Love that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing. And it's like I like what you said too, just about, the body composition change that you're seeing too. So yeah, that's huge. How does all of this make you feel?
it it makes me feel it sounds weird, but it makes me feel strong. It makes me feel strong mentally. It makes me feel stronger, of course, physically. I mean,
Yeah.
that goes without saying. The
Right.
progress on my workouts shows that. But
Yeah.
it's been it's been an important journey for me. And again, the parallels from my own business also apply here, where there are things I wouldn't do half a year ago that I feel like now I'm doing,
Hmm.
and I'm doing them well, and I'm happier for it. That's
Wow.
the big part. I'm much happier with how I look. I'm much happier with my physical possible. Like I've really progressed on not only workouts but other activities I'm doing. I play squash. I climb, like bouldering. All of that. There's a clear progress, and it makes me feel so happy.
That's amazing. Wow. That makes me so happy to hear. I'm like just beaming hearing you talking about this. That's awesome. I got one more question, which is what would you tell someone who's watching this right now and is unsure about taking that next step?
Uh, hmm. I would say, because when you're on the fence, you're unsure if you want to do this. I feel it's, if you're waiting for a sign or something to tell you that this is the right moment, it's not gonna come. This is a decision you need to make. You need to commit. It's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And if there's a goal you want to achieve, and it is something you want to dedicate yourself to, then all the other obstacles or things that, you know, the fears, the doubts that you have, if the goal outweighs them all, don't wait. Just go for it, because this is your decision, and this will change not only how you look, but also how you feel and also how you think. So I highly recommend it.
That's amazing. I love that. Great advice just in general, right? Of like waiting, making any big decision. It's like there's not just going to be a star falling out of the sky. It's like you got to
Exactly.
figure out the goal is important enough. I love that. Awesome. Last thing to wrap up here, where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
Well, if you have LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Bartosz Kucharski. Uh, I also have a website where, of course, you can sign up for therapy if you would like
Oh,
to,
yeah, I'll
which is
drop the
my
link in the description of the video.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I will,
awesome. Yeah.
and that's where you can find me. Maybe more going forward, but there are plans. Let me tell you
Yeah, we'll get your
that.
social media dialed in too. All right. Well, thank you so much for this
Thank you,
interview.
Zach.
It was lovely. Hopefully, you guys watching this got a lot of value out of it. Yeah, super proud of you, Bartek, for all your dedication and all the progress that you've had. So, really good stuff.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.